I told him I had a son, Ethan, 7 years old, and the world ended right there, at that table. We were at the Skylight Terrace, that restaurant in Los Angeles with a view of the entire city. You know, those bright lights below that make it look like everyone else's life is perfect. 11 months of dating. 11 months I had kept that secret like someone carrying a bomb in their chest. The table was beautiful, even had a candle in the middle, and Ryan had ordered champagne before I arrived. I remember when the waiter brought the menu and I saw the prices. $65 for a dish, almost $100 for a bottle of wine. He always made a point of choosing places like that, places where people notice you, where everyone sees. I took a deep breath and said it, just like that, no build-up. Ryan, I need to tell you something. I have a son. His face changed, not gradually, instantly, like when you pull a plug from the wall and the light goes out at once. He dropped his fork. The sound of metal hitting the plate echoed. People at nearby tables looked over. He stood up too fast. The chair scraped against the floor, making that awful noise. And everyone, absolutely everyone, turned to look at us. You lied to me. His voice came out loud, sharp, full of disgust. A single mom? You lied to me all this time. I felt my whole body freeze. My hands went cold. My mouth went dry. People were staring. Elegant couples holding glasses of wine. Waiters frozen in the corners pretending not to watch, but watching everything. He grabbed the linen napkin from his lap and threw it on the table, hard, like it was trash. I can't believe this. 11 months, Laura. 11 months and you didn't have the guts to tell me? He ran a hand through his hair, that thing he did when he was nervous. But this time it was different. It wasn't nerves. It was rage. It was disgust. Do you know who I am? Do you know what I deserve? I work as an event coordinator. I deal with crises all the time, clients yelling, vendors disappearing an hour before a wedding. But there, in that moment, I couldn't say a word. I had hidden Ethan because I was afraid of this. Exactly this. And now it was happening, in front of everyone, with the city lights shining outside as if nothing mattered. He kept going. Didn't stop. Didn't sit down. Just stood there, talking loud. And every word was like a knife. Do you know how much I've spent on you? How much I've invested in this relationship? He spread his arms wide, dramatic, wanting everyone to hear. $9,000, Laura. 9,000. Gifts, trips, dinners, that weekend in Napa Valley, the bracelet you loved, all of it. And for what? To find out you're a liar. I felt tears burning, but I didn't let them fall. I wouldn't give him that satisfaction. People were still staring, some not even pretending to hide it anymore. A woman in a blue dress whispered something to her husband. He shook his head disapprovingly, though I couldn't tell if it was at me or him. Didn't matter. I was being judged either way. I have an apartment, you know that. I drive a luxury car. I have a lifestyle, Laura. And you think I'll accept a woman with baggage? With a kid? He laughed. Not a happy laugh, one of those bitter, poisonous ones. You don't get it. Single mothers are disposable in the market. Nobody wants to deal with someone else's problem. You'll never, ever find someone like me. I looked at him. Really looked. And it was strange because at that moment, in the middle of all that humiliation, I saw something I hadn't noticed before. He was too nervous. Like, actually nervous. Not just angry. His hands trembled a bit. He kept glancing to the side, to the phone on the table, like he was in a hurry to leave, but still needed to finish his speech. And then his phone buzzed. Once, twice, 3 times in a row. Messages coming in. He glanced down, reached for it quickly, but not quick enough. I saw it. The screen lit up, and there it was, right in the notification. Love 2. Not Camilla, not work. Love 2. With the number, in digits. And he knew I saw it because his face went pale. He locked the screen instantly and shoved the phone into his pocket like it was on fire. "I've got to go," he said fast, grabbing his jacket from the back of the chair. "You think about what you did. Really think. Because I can give you a second chance, but you're going to have to make it up to me, got it? You'll have to prove you're worth it. I'll call you in 3 days. Think about it." And he left. Just like that. No paying the bill, no looking back, nothing. I stayed there, alone, with everyone still staring. The waiter came over quietly, asked if I needed anything, if I was okay. I said yes, that I was, but I wasn't. I grabbed my phone. My hands were shaking, but I had managed it. When he looked away, when he shoved his phone into his pocket, I'd taken a picture. Discreetly from the side, but I got it. And there it was, in my gallery. His notification. Love 2. I asked for the check, paid my part, $85 on a credit card that would sting next month, and walked out of that restaurant with my head held high. Everyone still watching. But I wasn't the same woman who had walked in. Something had shifted. And it wasn't just anger. It was curiosity. Suspicion. A question pounding in my head. If I'm love 1, who the hell is love 2? I got home close to midnight. Ethan was asleep in his room. The babysitter was watching TV in the living room. Stood up when she saw me. Asked if everything was okay. I said yes, paid her, waited until she left. I sat on the couch, still in heels, still in my dress, staring at that photo on my phone. Love 2. I couldn't get it out of my head. 72 hours. He'd said 3 days. 3 days for me to think about what I'd done, to make it up to him. 72 hours until he'd come back with his speech about second chances, with that arrogant tone. 72 hours for me to find out who he really was. I stood up, kicked off my heels, went to my laptop. Opened it, not sure yet what I was going to do, but knowing I was going to do something. And that's when I remembered. I'm not just an event coordinator. I mean, I am. But before that, I spent 5 years in corporate human resources. Not just any HR, the investigations unit. Due diligence, they called it. I used to investigate executives before companies hired them, checking resumes, looking for inconsistencies, digging through social media, public databases, digital records, everything. I was good at it. Really good. I quit because of the pressure, but the tools, the contacts, they were still there, waiting. I started with the basics. Facebook. Typed Ryan Matthews, the last name he'd used with me. Nothing relevant. Generic profiles, people from other states, no matches. Then I thought, what if he uses another name? I grabbed a photo of him from my phone, threw it into Google Images, let the algorithm do its thing. Took about 20 minutes, but there it was. An old profile from 2019 under the name Ryan Carter. Not Matthews. Carter. Same face, just younger, thinner, smiling next to a brunette woman with curly hair and a little boy. The caption read, "Family is everything," posted 2 months ago. 2 months, while he was dating me. My heart started racing. I went to Instagram, searched variations of the name, Ryan Carter, Ryan C., RC Official, nicknames. Found a private account, Ari Carter Lay, profile picture of a car, blank bio. I sent a follow request from a fake account I'd used before to check on vendors. A generic name, landscape photo. He accepted in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. I opened the profile and froze. Travel photos. Beaches. A blonde woman, different from the brunette, holding a little girl, maybe 5 years old. Caption: My loves in Malibu. Date: 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks. That same weekend we'd gone to Lake Tahoe. He'd told me he was going to Malibu to take care of some things. Lie. He went with her. With them. I called Beatrice. 1 a.m, I know. But she's my best friend from college, a lawyer, and if there's one thing she knows, it's how to handle jerks. She answered on the third ring, sleepy but worried. Laura? What's going on? Are you okay? I told her everything. The restaurant, the humiliation. Love too. The photos, the different names. She was silent for a few seconds, then said, wide awake now, send me everything, right now. Full name, date of birth if you have it, photo, everything. I'll run it through some systems. I sent it all. I waited, pacing around the living room, unable to sit, unable to sleep. Half an hour later, my phone rang. Beatrice. Laura, sit down. I sat. This guy is married, legally married. His wife's name is Julia Carter. Wedding registered in San Diego, 2018. And there's more. Birth certificates for twins, Michael and Lily, 3 years old, both under his name. He's a father of twins, Laura. I could barely breathe. There's more? I asked, already knowing there was. Yeah, Beatrice said. I found his LinkedIn. He changes his location every week. 1 week Los Angeles, then San Diego, then Santa Monica. And he's got 3 condos under financing in his name, 2 cars, and get this, debts. About $85,000 spread across banks, credit cards, and loan companies. He's broke, Laura. That whole talk about luxury cars and fancy apartments, all financed to the brim. He doesn't have money. He has debt. I hung up and stared at the ceiling. It wasn't one woman. It was 3. It wasn't one lie. It was layers upon layers. And he had called me a liar. Humiliated me in front of everyone because I, who raise my son alone, who work every day, who never ask for help, had hidden the fact that I have a child. And him? He hid entire families. 72 hours. He was going to call me in 72 hours. But when he did, I wouldn't be alone. And I wouldn't be crying. I'd be ready. The next 3 days, I barely slept. Worked, took care of Ethan, pretended everything was normal. But every free minute I was on my computer or phone, connecting dots. Beatrice helped me find the other women. The brunette from Facebook was Camille, 32, an English teacher, living in Santa Monica with her 9-year-old son, Matthew. The blonde from Instagram was Samantha, 28, an architect with a 5-year-old daughter named Isabella. And the legal wife, Julia, was a nurse, 35, living in San Diego with the twins, Michael and Lily. 4 women, 4 lives, each believing Ryan was theirs alone. I created fake profiles and sent anonymous messages with pictures. Do you know this man? He's dating several women at the same time. Attached screenshots, sent proof, and waited. Camille replied in 2 hours, furious, wanting to know who I was. Samantha took a day, but when she answered, she was in shock, saying it couldn't be true. Julia was the fastest. She already suspected something, had found odd things before. I set up a meeting with them. Not in person, not yet. A video call, the 4 of us, on a Thursday night. It was surreal. Each telling her version, each realizing the dates matched, that his business trips overlapped, that the urgent projects always happened in the same cities. And Julia was the one who said it. We need to confront him. Together. I came up with the idea. Same restaurant, the Skylight Terrace. He was going to call on the third day to offer me a second chance. I agreed. Set the meeting for 7:15 p.m. Same table if possible, I requested. I called the manager, explained the situation. He was shocked, but agreed to help. I reserved nearby tables, strategically placed. Camille would arrive at 7:30, Samantha at 7:40, Julia at 7:50, and Beatrice at 8:00 with the documents. Everything timed, everything planned. I arrived first, sat in the same chair as 3 nights before. City lights below, people living normal lives while mine was about to explode in ways I couldn't imagine. Ryan arrived at 7:15 sharp, gray suit, expensive cologne, that smug little smile. He sat down, looked at me like someone forgiving a misbehaving pet. Laura, I've been thinking these past few days about us, about what you did. I didn't say a word, just listened. He went on. I'm a generous man, I forgive. But you need to understand. Your kid can't interfere with our relationship. I'm not going to play stepdad. If you can accept that, we can move forward. I was about to respond, but didn't have to. 7:30. Camille walked in. She saw me, gave a subtle nod, then looked to the side and saw him. Her face changed. She walked straight over, heels clicking against the floor, and stopped by our table. Ryan. Her voice was firm, loud. He turned, and I saw the exact moment all the color drained from his face. Camille, what are you doing here? She crossed her arms. You said you were on a business trip. A trip, Ryan, and here you are, having dinner with someone else? People started watching. Again. Except this time, it wasn't me being humiliated. It was him. 7:40. Samantha walked in. She had seen the photo I'd sent, knew the location, came prepared. She got closer, saw him, saw Camille, saw me. So it's true, she said quietly, but loud enough for everyone to hear. You have others. I didn't believe it when I got the message. I thought it was a prank. But it's true. Ryan stood up, tried to speak, tried to regain control, but his voice trembled. Ladies, please calm down. You don't understand. I can explain. Explain what? Camille cut in. That you proposed to me? Told me Matthew would finally have a real dad? That you spent the money I lent you, $3,000, on some investment that never existed? 7:50. Julia. She walked in holding a folder, and she wasn't alone. She had brought the twins, Michael and Lily, 3 years old, one in each hand. The entire restaurant fell silent. She stopped at the table, looked him in the eye, and placed the folder on the plates. Marriage certificate, Ryan, 2018. You and me. Signed and sealed. And these... She opened the folder, pulling out more papers. Birth certificates. Michael, Lily, your children. The ones you left in San Diego while you came here to work. Her voice didn't tremble. There were no tears, just pure, righteous anger. He tried to leave. Stood up, grabbed his jacket, but the manager appeared, polite yet firm. Sir, the check, $250. It must be settled before you go. Ryan looked at him, then at us, then at the restaurant full of people staring back. I didn't bring... Beatrice walked in at that exact moment, 8 p.m. sharp. Folder under her arm, heels clicking, posture like someone walking into battle already knowing she'd win. He doesn't have it because he's got nothing, she said. Bad credit in 3 banks, 2 loan defaults, $85,000 in debt, 3 condos barely paid for, 2 cars close to repossession. She opened the folder, showed the documents for everyone to see. And more. 2 labor fraud lawsuits, one in Los Angeles, one in San Diego. This man doesn't have money. He has a mountain of lies. The silence was deafening. No one spoke. No one moved. It felt like the whole restaurant had turned into a live courtroom, and we were the judges. He tried to say something, opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. You don't understand. I love all of you. In different ways, but I love you. Samantha laughed, a dry, bitter laugh. Love? You call this love? You asked me for $5,000 for your European project. I gave it to you. Where is it? Julia added, You disappeared for 3 weeks with the twins, said it was something urgent. Urgent was being with her, and her, and her, pointing at each of us. That's when I spoke, the first time since he'd arrived. You called me a liar, right here, at this same table. You humiliated me for hiding the fact that I have a son I raise on my own, support and love. And you? You were hiding entire families. You called me disposable. Said a woman with a child isn't worth anything. But look at you now. Look who's worthless. It's not me. He tried to leave again, this time almost running. But Julia made a sign, and 2 police officers entered the restaurant. She'd called ahead, said she might need them. This man owes me 4 months of unpaid child support, $3,000 total, and I've just filed a report tonight for child abandonment. She said it looking straight into his eyes, and I saw that she wasn't crying, wasn't furious. She was steady. We all were. The officers asked for his ID, told him to come with them, and he walked out escorted. Through the entire restaurant, everyone staring, whispering, some even taking pictures. The manager came to our table, said the house would cover our drinks as an apology for the situation, and there we stayed. The 4 of us, sitting there, still processing what had just happened. Camille cried. Not much, just for a few minutes, but she cried. Samantha sat in silence, staring at nothing, still trying to process it all. Julia took a deep breath, lifted the twins into her arms and said, Thank you for doing this. I couldn't have done it alone. I held her hand. None of us could have done it alone, but together, we did. Beatrice, ever the practical one, opened the folder again and started explaining the next steps. Julia filed for divorce and child support enforcement. Camille and Samantha filed fraud and emotional abuse reports, since he'd taken their money under false pretenses. Me? I wrote everything down, absolutely everything. Opened my laptop the next day and wrote a 5-page story telling what happened, without full names for legal reasons, but with all the facts. Posted it in a Facebook group called Women Aware, a space for mutual protection. It went viral in 48 hours, 15,000 shares. Women all over the country messaging me, saying they'd gone through the same thing, thanking me for exposing it, saying it saved them from similar situations. 3 months passed. I got a promotion at work. My boss read the post, saw how I'd used my investigative skills, and invited me to give an internal talk on red flags in toxic relationships, how to spot manipulation, how to protect yourself. The talk became a project. The project became an internal consultancy, and I started leading a new emotional wellness program at the company, a raise, a new title, and for the first time in years, I felt seen. Not by a man, but by myself. The other women moved on too. Camille went back to school, earned a master's degree in early childhood education, something she'd always wanted but never had the courage to do. Samantha opened her own architecture studio. Small, but hers. No partners, no dependence on anyone. Julia won full custody of the twins. Child support was set by the court, and she got a job as a nursing coordinator at a larger hospital, earning nearly twice as much. And the 4 of us? We started a group. Not just for us, but open to others. Women of worth. a support space for survivors of narcissists, manipulators, and men who use love as a weapon. We meet once a month, in person, at a cafe in Los Angeles. There are already over 100 women participating. Some just listen, others share, others help, with lawyers, therapists, resources. Ethan met Matthew, Isabella, Michael, and Lily. At first it was strange. The kids asked why Uncle Ryan had disappeared, and we explained, each in our own way, with truths softened for their ages. But the most beautiful thing was watching them play together, forming friendships born out of our pain, yet turning into something pure, innocent, real. We meet up sometimes, take the kids to the park, have picnics, and in those moments, I look around and think, we turned the worst thing that ever happened to us into the best decision we ever made. Ryan, he faced 4 lawsuits, lost every single one. Lost his job when the company discovered internal fraud. Lost the apartments. The cars were repossessed. And last I heard, he was living with his mother in a small town, working as a cell phone store clerk. I don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel angry. I don't feel anything. He's irrelevant now, a footnote in a story far bigger than him. 6 months after that dinner, I was driving home from a meeting where I'd just closed a $2 million project for the company. $2 million. Me, the disposable woman, the single mom who wasn't worth anything. I stopped at a red light, glanced at the rearview mirror, and saw Ethan in the back seat, tapping on his tablet, humming a song from school. And I thought, he called me disposable. 6 months later, I was leading the biggest project of my career, and him, still trying to explain to his mother where it all went wrong. It wasn't revenge. It never was. It was justice. It was women refusing to carry a shame that was never theirs. It was about looking in the mirror and no longer seeing the victim he tried to create, but the woman I'd always been. Strong, capable, whole. He tried to break me that night at the restaurant. But what he didn't know is that a woman who raises a child alone, who works every day, who gets back up when she falls, who smiles through pain, that woman doesn't break easily. And when she joins forces with others like her, there's not a narcissist in the world who can stand against that. We didn't need him to be happy. We just needed each other and courage. And we had both.